Let's crochet a blanket, y'all. Hello everyone, Rochelle here, and I'm back to share some yarn goodness with y'all today. Okay, I am super excited about this project. I am going to be crocheting the 6-day star blanket. It's a crochet pattern that is designed by McKnit. And yes, I got the name right. So I want to make this blanket as just like an accent piece in my office. My colors in here are purple and the walls are like a silvery gray, as you can see. And there's like little hints of blue around here. And also, my husband's favorite color is blue and my favorite color is purple. So I thought that would look good. It kind of reminds me of our wedding colors as well. So yay, that's fun. So in terms of the yarn choices that I wanted to do for this, I checked the Joann's website, and to my surprise, they were having a sale on a few things. So that was fun. But I was trying to figure out what do I want to go with, and ultimately I went with Big Twist. Now, when I was checking the website, I don't know, maybe I didn't realize there was a sale, or maybe I did. But anyway, when I got to the store, I was so happy. There were a ton of colors available. Y'all, let me tell you, my Joann's was stocked, okay? There was yarn everywhere. It was absolutely amazing. So, in terms of the yarn that I need for this pattern, I need at least 2 skeins of each color. So this yarn is 100% acrylic, and it is Big Twist value. The yardage, this is 380 yards per ball or skein. That's 6 ounces, and that's 347 meters or 170 grams. This is a number 4 medium worsted weight yarn, and this color is purple, and this color is titanium gray, and this color is varsity blue. So yay, those are awesome. And so yeah, so I purchased 2 skeins each of those, and it was just a wonderful time going around and looking at yarn and seeing what else they had going on. And so yeah, now for the worsted weight version, because you can make these in, you know, a lot of different weights of yarn. So according to the pattern page, you will need 2,500 yards of worsted or 2,800 yards for the DK weight. So just keep that in mind. I needed 2,500 and I have about 2,300. So yeah, that's about 220 that I don't have. So my plan is I'm trying to think, because I'm not sure if I just want to stop when I run out of yarn, or if I just want to go back and buy the 1 skein that I will need. And I'm probably going to do that because I don't want to end up with like a whole bunch of extra yarn. And so, yeah, I think that's what I am going to do. But yeah, my Joann's trip was a lot of fun. So yeah, it was quite the treat for me. And so, yeah, now, as I mentioned before, the yarn was on sale. So I ended up buying 6 skeins of this yarn. I bought 2 each in each color. And y'all, it only cost me $17.88 with North Carolina tax. And like, I am going to be able to make this blanket for $17.88. Wow. Okay, that's gonna be awesome. And of course, there is the possibility I might have to buy 1 additional skein. So that'll be about another $3. But still, like, less than $20 for a blanket. I'm feeling really good about this, y'all. Like, really, really good. The pattern is $6 as a PDF, as a paid PDF, or it is free on the designer's blog. And so typically when I make crochet patterns, a lot of times I'll just go ahead and buy the PDF. There aren't any ads or anything like that. But, you know, since this was a blanket, I could have just like copied paste and made my own little copy. But I really wanted to dive deep into this pattern and do like a little comparison. And so I did buy the $6 PDF, and I really just wanted to like compare that for you all. And so when I saw the pattern, when I saw the free version, honestly, y'all, this crochet pattern is written just like any other standard crochet pattern. I've been crocheting 20 plus years. And to me, the pattern just was like a standard written crochet pattern. Like, it didn't stand out to me or anything like that. It looked like a good pattern to me. Now, there are pros and cons to buying a free pattern versus a paid pattern. And I'm going to talk about that as I go along in the pattern and later on in the video. But the great thing about going on the blog and looking at the free pattern is that the ads that are on the website, you know, the designer can make money that way, and it's a great way to support the designer by the ads that you view on the website. Now, the great thing about the PDF is that it benefits you in a way because it's just more like condensed, and the ads are gone, and it's just a little bit more, condensed for you. So, there's the advantage there, and you're still supporting the designer. So, you can just kind of decide which way you want to go. And so in terms of the website itself, I wanted to look at it and see like, okay, how accessible is this pattern? And I only found out about it like a few days ago from, like I said, watching the YouTuber. But I went on the pattern, and I don't know what the website looked like before I found it, but when I found the website, it was really accessible. Now, yes, there are ads. The ads are popping up everywhere. But like I said, I am used to that when it comes to patterns that are free on people's blogs. So right in the corner, there's an accessibility menu. And I'm going to put that on the screen so you all can look. But I mean, it's amazing. It really offers like additional assistance for those who may have issues with the font, the layout, the colors, whatever. It's a really good resource for people to use. And even I myself, a lot of times, like when it comes to certain websites, I will like make the font bigger because I do have astigmatism, and that's really helpful for me. So I really like that, and I am so happy that the designer added this feature to the website just to make it accessible for more people. And I really appreciate that. So, I wanted to tell you all what I was wearing. So this is the No Sew Comfort Tee, and it is designed by Ashley Rivas. And I've already made a whole video about it. I have a Ravelry page about it, but I will link the pattern link below and the yarn and all of that stuff. Either you can check it out on my Ravelry page, or you can check it out in the video that I made dedicated to this. And I will leave that linked also. But yay! So let's get started with this blanket, y'all. I have a plan because on the website, the designer talks about how you can break it down. So my plan is to change colors after every repeat. That's the plan. And so the designer said that this blanket can be completed in 6 days, but we'll see about that. So the blanket has 9 setup rounds, and I'm going to do that in one color. And then it has 6 repeats for the throw size. Of course, if you want to make like a baby blanket size, you can stop after 3 repeats. And so my goal is to, on day 1, to do the setup rounds and repeat 1, the first repeat. And then after that, for the remainder of the days, I'll do 1 repeat per day. And so that should give me 6 days. And so we shall see if I can get this done in 6 days. We'll see. I'm not tied to that date. I mean, it'll take however long that it takes, and it doesn't It doesn't bother me at all. I am going to catch up with y'all after I have completed all of the setup rounds and the first repeat. I have finished the setup rows and the first repeat, and I want to share my thoughts so far. Okay, so, before we get started, today I am wearing my Sweet Summer Tee, and it is designed by Rachel Misner, and I have a YouTube channel all about it, and I'll leave my Ravelry link below. But yeah, this is a beautiful crochet top. As you can see, I love wearing crochet garments. I love crochet. It's so versatile and you can just make anything you want with it, and I love it. So in terms of the hook size, I am using an I hook, which is a US 9 or a 5.5 millimeter hook. And so the reason why I decided to go with that is because according to the designer, she recommends that when you're choosing a hook size, you want to go up one hook size past the recommended hook size on your yarn label. And so on this yarn label, it suggests a H hook, and that is a US 8 or a 5 millimeter crochet hook. That's what it recommends. And so I went up one size to the I hook. And the reason why she recommends that is so that you don't get curling, because if you're doing your setup rows too tight, they're going to start to curl. And so she suggested that, that you go up a hook size, and that's what I did. And I'm so glad I did, because there's no curling. It's a little crinkly because I've had it in my project bag, but there's no curling happening. Oh, it's so pretty. But there is no curling happening so far. So I'm really happy that I went with the I hook. And so, as I mentioned before, I purchased this pattern PDF for $6. Y'all, I have already found a typo in this pattern. But it's not a bad one. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Okay? And it kills me because I'm not complaining at all, but I have to be open and honest with this. And so this is what I found. Okay, so I'm going to put on the screen like a little comparison. As I mentioned, I bought the paid PDF, but I'm also comparing it to the free version. So on the paid PDF, the instructions for setup round 8 says you're going to 5 double crochet in the center single crochet from the row below. Okay? The free version on the designer's blog says 5 double crochet in the center double crochet from row below. So the paid pattern is saying single crochet. The free pattern is saying double crochet. And the issue with that is, so it's asking for you to double crochet in the single crochet row below. So that would mean the prior row. Well, the thing is, the prior row only has double crochets in it. So there's no way you can do 5 double crochets in the center single crochet from the row below, because there are no single crochets in the row below. So instead of panicking and freaking out, I was like, you know what? As an experienced crocheter, I understand that sometimes there can just be like little typos. So let me go and check the free version on her blog, and sure enough, it has double crochet. So the free version is correct. So if you were doing the free version and you were on those setup rows, there's no issue with the setup rounds for the free version. And I feel like most people are using the free version, but just in case you do buy the paid version, just understand that for the setup row round 8, it says single crochet when it should say double crochet. And it's one letter off. Instead of DC, it says SC. Not a big deal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to the designer and just kind of let her know, what's going on. She may have not even noticed it. And like I said, most people use the free version anyway. So maybe someone has not even brought it to her attention. I just kind of feel like this is the adult responsible way to let a designer know, like I don't need to go blasting anybody on social media. Oh, this is wrong. This is wrong. Like, if there's a problem with the pattern, just go talk to the designer about it. And I feel like she will be nice. I feel like I've seen other people reach out to her with questions and stuff, and she seemed to respond well. I've never met her before, but I'm just going to be optimistic. And like I said, this is a teeny, teeny, tiny little mistake. It's just one letter. So I think that it might confuse maybe like some beginners, but a lot of times you just got to use your brain. And if the pattern's telling you to double crochet in the single crochet from the row before, and you know that there are no single crochets in the row before, then your brain should say, oh, they meant DC. But at the same time, I understand that, okay, if you buy a pattern, you don't want to feel like you have to rewrite it yourself. Totally get that. Agree with you on that. But it's a teeny tiny little thing, and I completely understand it. But I want to reach out to her, just let her know there's a tiny little typo, and maybe she can do like an addendum or something, or maybe she doesn't have to. It's her pattern, but I just feel like I'll be doing my due diligence and just letting her know. And also, I've done a ton of pattern testing in the past, and in my experience, most designers appreciate it if you just tell them your feedback, but be nice about it, but anyway, enough of that. So I will let you know what the outcome of that is, if I find out before this video goes live. So I will definitely let you know. Okay, so I'm kind of flashing this to you, but this purple piece here are the setup rounds, and as I mentioned, it's 9 of these. And then the blue here, the varsity blue, is the first repeat section. And so for the third section, the third repeat section, I am going to come in with the titanium gray, and I'm very excited about it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to come back and check in with you all after I have completed the third repeat section and the fourth repeat section. See you soon. It is day 5, and I have some wonderful news. So the designer, Betty McKnit, she got back to me, y'all. I emailed her, and so I have my email here. Okay, so I emailed her, looks like it was yesterday. And so basically, here's my email. I said, hello, I hope you're doing well. I'm crocheting your beautiful 6-day star blanket. I purchased the paid PDF, but I found a typo in it. And then I told her that on the paid PDF, the instructions for the setup round 8, it mentioned making the DCs or making the double crochets in the single crochet. But on the free pattern, it says make the double crochets in the center of the double crochets from the previous round. And so the thing is, there are no single crochets. So that meant that the free version was correct, but the paid version was not correct. So I got some clarification on that. She emailed me back like in 2 hours. 2 hours, y'all. Like, that's amazing. And so she said, thanks for letting me know. I believe I corrected the PDF. It depends on where you purchased it. You may or may not have received the updated version. Here's a new one for you. Okay, so basically, I downloaded the pattern from Ravelry, and that's the one that had the typo in it. But if you purchase it from her website, you'll get the updated one. And so she is aware of it now, and that's awesome. It's just something to keep in mind. But she was so nice. She even sent me a PDF with the correct, the updated version on it. And I love that. And she was just like, she even complimented me on my yarn and just was telling me how pretty it is. And I just appreciated that so much. Just really positive. And I feel like if you have an issue with a designer, the way they write something, the way they do something, just go to them as an adult and handle it. Be professional, be kind, and a lot of time that's going to be reciprocated. I can't say that it's always going to be that way, but in this experience, Miss McKnit, she was fantastic. And because she was so nice to me, like, I want to crochet all her patterns now. I need to go check out her Ravelry and see what she has. So anyway, I definitely wanted to update you all on that. Now, I also found the same typo in round 6 where it says single crochet instead of double crochet. But that was my version that I had. She has sent me an updated version with the correct just a typo. And like I said, it was a totally simple thing. She put DC where the SC was, but if you use your brain, you'll know, do the DC, because there is no SC before in the prior row. But yeah, so the free version, nothing wrong with it. The paid version on her website, nothing wrong with it. It's just that the copy she had uploaded to Ravelry had those tiny little typos in it. So yay, happy about that. She is amazing. So it is day 5. And I don't think I'm on the track to finish this by day 6. These are my repeats. Of course, this is the setup round. And then the blue is repeat 1. The titanium, the varsity blue is repeat 1. The titanium gray is repeat 2. And the purple is repeat 3. For days 4 and 5, which was December 17th and 18th, I did repeat number 3. And that took me 4 hours and 56 minutes. Yeah. So each round is getting bigger, and but hey, that's the way it goes. But yeah, it's been really fun to to go over these. But haven't had any problems so far. The only thing is I have started to experience some wrist pain. And so I'm wearing these compression gloves. I'm going to leave my Amazon link below for all of my favorite knitting, crochet, and filming supplies. But these are the compression gloves that I wear. And I have them in a size small and a size medium. And they're great. They really do help alleviate some of that stress. And of course, I do take breaks and things like that. And so, yeah, love it. So these are really, really great, and I'll put my link in the description box, but I'll also pin it as the top comment under this video. So yay, have that. Now, I did want to share some very important reminders that's actually in the blog, and I wanted to read it straight from the blog. And this is just a reminder for first time crocheters, beginner crocheters, or, your first time knitting, your first time crocheting a blanket like this. The designer put an important reminder on here that I think people really need to pay attention to. And that is, she said that it is important to understand that this is an easy pattern, but it is not a beginner pattern. You will need to know how to chain, single crochet, and double crochet. This pattern does not teach those skills. The designer has tutorials on YouTube that will help you with different skills. And the designer is available on several social media platforms. And y'all saw how quickly she got back with me. Like, amazing. And so she said that the best way to get in contact with her and to get pattern support is through her Facebook page. And also, you want to make sure that you read the whole pattern. Read the whole pattern all the way through. If there's some skills in there that you just don't quite understand, then, look it up. And if you read the pattern ahead of time, you'll be able to find those tutorials that you need so that you don't get stuck when you get to that part of the pattern. And also in the vlog, the designer gives some advice on the setup rounds and the round numbers. And so with this pattern, you will need to do the reverse single crochet. I don't know how to do that. Or if I do, like if I've done it before, I haven't done it in a long time and I've kind of forgotten it. But because I read through the whole paragraph first, or the whole pattern first, I know that the reverse single crochet is going to come up. So therefore, when I get to that part in the pattern, I won't be surprised. I'll already have a tutorial ready, or I'll already know a tutorial to look up. So just some tips. Keep that in mind. It makes the process a whole lot easier. Okay, so let me share what I'm wearing with y'all. This is the fun part of making this video over several days, is that I get to, show off some of my favorite crochet items. But this is the Saturday sweater, and it is designed by Tamara Kelly of Moogly. Now I have a whole video about this top, this sweater, and then I have a Ravelry page, of course, and I will link the pattern below so you all can check that out. Okay, so looks like I have some more work to do. I will reconvene with you all after repeat number 5, unless something new develops, and I'll come back in. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I have to add the varsity blue next, and so that'll be fun. And yeah, I'll check back in with you all after I have finished the 5th repeat. It's another glorious day, and I have finished the repeats, let's see, number 4, 5, and the edging. But before we get to that, let's talk about what I'm wearing. This is the Tiki top. It is a beautiful crochet design by Designs by Key. And of course, I will leave the pattern linked below. Okay, ooh, this feels nice. But anyway, let's talk about this blanket. Now, I did want to make, I believe I need to make a correction on something. I mentioned on either day 1 or day 2 that the blanket has 6 repeats for the throw size, and actually it has 5 repeats for the throw size. And I think where I got confused is I was counting the edging as a section, and that's not, it's just a row of edging. So yeah, so it has 5 repeats, and that's what I have done. I also wanted to talk with you all about some of the skills that you'll need to know for this blanket, and they include the chain stitch, double crochet, reverse single crochet, slip stitch, double crochet 2 together, double crochet 3 together, and the standing stitch. And so what was interesting about the standing stitch is that I didn't realize that I already knew how to do the standing stitch. I had just never heard it called before, but it's the way that I always add new yarn. So that was cool. Now I know that there's a name for it. But the blanket, let's talk about it. This blanket is worked from the center out into the shape of a 7-point star. And it can be made in any yarn weight. I used a worsted weight, but it can be made in any yarn weight, which I really like about it. And also, when I looked it up, the pattern includes yarn amounts for each weight of yarn. So regardless of what size or what type of weight you want to use, whether it's DK, Aran, whatever, Miss Betty McKnit has provided a graph, or a chart rather, that shows you how many yards of yarn you'll need, or meters of yarn you'll need for each skein of yarn, or each weight of yarn. And I really like that because it takes the guesswork out of how much you'll need. I really like that. So regardless of what weight of yarn you use, she already has how much yarn you'll need in the pattern, and I really, really like that. And so, as I mentioned, I stopped at 5 repeats for the throw size, and it is plenty big enough. And the pattern suggests that you repeat rows 2 through 7 if you want to make it bigger. If you want to add more and more repeats, you can definitely just keep repeating rows 2 through 7 as a repeat. You just keep repeating that over and over again. And that's the way that goes if you want to keep adding more and more to it. So I really like that you had that option. And of course, when you do make those repeat rows, you don't redo the setup rows. You only do the setup rows one time, and that's at the beginning. And if you want to add more to it, you don't do the setup rows again. You only do those repeats, which are rounds 2 through 7. So you only do that. And this blanket definitely kept me warm. It's so nice to have a blanket that's so big that it keeps you warm while you're crocheting on it. I really do love that. And yeah, it's cold outside, and so this blanket was a joy to crochet on. And also, I wanted to talk about the reverse single crochet edging. So this is a technique that I had never done before, and I was a little hesitant about it because it kind of looked a bit challenging. But when it comes to crochet, I just dive in head first. I love learning new techniques. And so the reverse single crochet, it creates this beautiful rolled edge. And at first I was like, how is that gonna look? But you know what, y'all? I actually like it. I'm not really one for a whole lot of edging, especially like even like if it comes to knitting, crochet, it doesn't matter. I'm not really big on a lot of edging and stuff like that. I kind of like the natural edging of a lot of things. But y'all, this is beautiful. This is really beautiful. And after a while, like it was challenging at first, but like I don't know, I guess I kind of got like muscle memory and it became a lot easier, and before you know it, I just had the rhythm going. I think the most challenging part of it is it's like you have to turn your wrists inward. It's almost like, I mean, it really is a reverse single crochet. It's like a backward single crochet, and you're going opposite motion. So instead of crocheting to your left, you're crocheting to your right. And so it's like that muscle memory. You have to like reprogram your brain on how to crochet a single crochet. So really like that technique, and it's absolutely beautiful. And so, funny story, let's talk about this yarn. The yarn is soft, but y'all, this yarn is super squeaky. So yeah, that's the yarn, but you know what? I have no complaints about it. If your yarn is squeaky, at least for me, all I do is I just take my crochet hook and I just rub it like with the cloth, and the squeakiness goes away. I only had to deal with the squeakiness a couple of times, but let me know if you've ever dealt with squeaky yarn. And the fact that it squeaks is not going to stop me from using this yarn. It's a beautiful yarn. It comes in a ton of colors. It's really, really soft, and it feels really great on my skin. And just as a reminder, this is 100% acrylic. And so because it is acrylic, I am going to block it. I'm still working out the exact techniques, but what I want to do is I want to soak it and then put it in the dryer. So I'm going to go ahead and block it and let it dry, and then I will check back with you all tomorrow for the final reveal after the blocking. And yeah, we'll see what it looks like. Today is a super chilly day, so I am wearing my piece by piece cowl that is designed by Ravelry Wishlist, and of course I'll leave the link below for you all. Now, I blocked my blanket, and the way I did it was I soaked it in water, and I soaked it for about 15 minutes, and then I squeezed out the water and I put it in the dryer since it is 100% acrylic. And I used the medium heat setting, and I checked it every 10 minutes. So it took about a total of 90 minutes in the dryer. I could have dried it quicker by using the high heat setting, but I didn't want to risk melting my blanket. So it turned out really well. And in terms of the pre-block and the post-blocking size, my blanket measures 56 inches. So that's about 4 inches short of what the pattern says, which is a 60-inch circumference for the or diameter for the throw size. So not bad, don't mind it at all. Now, there are 13 pages for the download, for the pattern download. However, the pattern is only on 2 pages, and I'm talking about the paid versions. Of course, for the purposes of this video, I wanted to make sure that I compared everything. So I did purchase the PDF for $6, and only 2 pages of that pattern is the pattern. It's the pattern instructions. And so that's something that you really want to think about. Now you may think $6 for essentially only 2 pages of a pattern, that might be expensive. But the thing is, you are like, that's the price you pay for not having the ads. Of course, there is the free version on her website. Now, if it was me, if I was making this project and I wasn't making like a compare and contrast video, y'all, I would just go with the free version on her pattern. I think it is the best way to go. Now, of course, if the ads are too much for you on the paid pattern, you can always copy and paste it. Just copy and paste the pattern notes onto like a Word document. Here's the thing though. If you copy and paste this pattern onto a document, make sure it is for your personal use, okay? Don't be out here selling and distributing your personal ad-free copy, okay? That is taking money away from the designer, and y'all, that's just not cool. All right, so copy and paste a version for yourself that's free of ads and easy for you to use, but like, don't be out here in these streets selling this woman's pattern. Like, yes, I know there's a lot of 6-star blankets patterns out there. Go use one of those, if you don't go out and sell those either. Those aren't like, unless you create your own blanket pattern. Like, I don't know. I'm not a designer, so I don't really understand pattern pricing and pattern formats and things like that. But yeah, so just use your own discretion. And also, on the website where the pattern is available for free, it has like the accessibility menu, which we've already gone through. So you can do that, or you can like make an ad-free copy for yourself, but just keep that to yourself. Keep it personal. Or if you don't want to do any of that and you totally want to skip all of that, just buy the paid PDF version. So, it's give and take. Just do, what's best for you, but just keep those things in mind. So I want to talk a little bit more about the yarn and the amounts that I used. Okay, so the pattern says that for the worsted weight or the number 4 weight yarn version, you will need approximately 1,500 yards for a 40-inch baby blanket, or 2,500 yards for a 60-inch throw size blanket. What's interesting is I only use 1,406 yards, which is 1,286 meters, and that was for the throw size. And I wanted to share the yarn that I had left over. So I have about a half a skein of the titanium gray. And remember, each of these skeins are 340 yards, which is 6 ounces. And so I only have a teeny tiny little bit of the purple. And then I have a really, really small amount of the blue. And then I have a whole skein of this purple yarn, y'all. And I have a whole skein of the blue yarn left over. Like, what am I going to do with all this leftover yarn? So this is the yarn that I have left. And so, just keep that in mind when you're making it. But it is always better to overbuy yarn than to underbuy yarn. And I was trying to think like what I was going to do with all of this extra yarn. And I've come to the conclusion that I want to crochet a basket. I don't think I've crocheted a basket before, but it would be really cool to like hold the yarn together. That would be neat for like a marled effect. Or I could stripe it. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so that's the yarn that I have left over. And right now, since it is cold, I am using the blanket as a throw for my legs. And so I will show you all the whole blanket in just a few minutes. So I wanted to talk about the time. Everybody is so into the time that it takes to realistically crochet this blanket. So, of course, the blanket is called the 6-Day Star Blanket. And the designer said if you dedicate between 2 to 4 hours a day of crocheting, this blanket, you can probably make it in about 6 days. And so I started this blanket on December 14th. And I finished it on December 20th. It took me 28 hours and 52 minutes. So in total, it took me 29 hours to crochet this blanket. And that was over a span of 7 days. So it took me 7 days to finish this blanket. And I wanted to go over some numbers because I wanted to take really good detailed notes for y'all so I could really, explain this pattern really well. Okay, so round 1 was my purple color. It took me 2 hours and 29 minutes, and that was day 1. Day 2, I did the repeat number 1 in the blue color. That took me 3 hours and 26 minutes. Day 3, I worked on repeat number 2 in the gray color, and that took me 3 hours and 53 minutes. Days 4 and 5, I worked on repeat number 3 in purple, and that took me 4 hours and 56 minutes. So you can see each day it's taken me about an additional hour to do a repeat. And so days 6 and 7, I worked on repeat number 4 in the blue, and that took me 5 hours and 10 minutes. And then on day 8, I worked on repeat number 5 in the gray, which took me 7 hours and 53 minutes. And also on day 8, I did the reverse single crochet border in purple. And just that border alone took me 1 hour and 9 minutes, y'all. It took me over an hour to crochet the border for this blanket. That is wild. And I did all of that on day 8. So on day 8 by itself, I spent 9 hours on this blanket. Like, that's a full-time job's day of work on this blanket. But yeah, so that's how I did all of that. And also, so this is why crocheters don't want to make things for other people, okay? This is why. I tallied up the hours and the time that it took for me to make this blanket. So it took me 29 total hours. In North Carolina, the minimum wage is $7.25 per hour. That is minimum wage. So if I was to charge for this blanket with just labor, not even including materials, I would have to charge $210.25 to make this blanket. The yarn itself ended up costing me like $17.88. So let's just round it up to $20. So all in all, at minimum wage, I would have to charge about $230 for this blanket. Crazy. And who is paying $230 for a star blanket? I don't know who's doing it. I mean, of course there are people that are doing it. But that is just wild. And I'm going to put this back over my legs because I instantly got cold again. But I don't know. Do you all feel like crochet is an underpaid occupation? I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. That's so interesting that I would have to charge that much for this blanket. If I was to make something for someone. And that's one of the many reasons why a lot of times we don't want to sell the things that we make, because people most likely aren't going to want to pay us for our time. And that's at minimum wage. And that's North Carolina's minimum wage. So it could be higher in another state. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, that was just something that was so interesting to me. That was unexpected, I guess. And another thing too is, like, I got my yarn on sale. So I didn't even pay full retail price for this. Like, this blanket could have cost double. The blanket could have cost like $40. So, that would take the blanket up to maybe like $240 for, that you would need to charge. But anyway, that is wild. my blanket, but I did want to give you all a few tips. So definitely use your stitch markers. Place a locking or a light bulb stitch marker at the first stitch of each row. That's very, very important. You don't want to get mixed up on what was your first stitch because it will throw your count off. Also, take the time to count after every row. Look, I know it's tedious, it may be boring, but trust me, you will save yourself a lot of time is if you count your stitches after each row. I know it might be 100 plus stitches, but save yourself some time, count your stitches after every row. Also, weave in the ends as you go. You do not want to be at the end of this project and have 1,000 ends to weave in, okay? Just do it as you go. Now, the next tip is in the 3 double crochet clusters. Yeah, so in those 3 double crochet clusters, you really want to make sure that you're counting your stitches in your clusters, because I actually was at the end of a row and I was looking back at my stitches and I had put 2 double crochets in the cluster instead of 3, and I just couldn't let that mistake go. So I went back, I ripped back the row and I corrected it. But that's why it's so important to check your rows after you finish them, because I would have felt so bad if I would have caught that like rows and rows later. I would have been like, oh God, do I really want to fix this? But knowing me, I probably would have ripped back and fixed it. Okay, and so the next tip is mark the center single crochet or double crochet in the peak cluster stitches. So you can't see it now because I have that rounded border, but right there at the edge, right there at the tip, you're going to want to mark that tip or that peak with a stitch marker, because that is going to help you when you go back around the next row and it tells you, okay, put 5 double crochets in the center peak. And then you have to think, okay, which stitch was the center peak of the previous row? So if you go ahead and mark it, it will definitely save you those steps. And so, yeah, I love this design. And it is so warm. Like while I'm sitting down, it is covering my whole body. And at first I was a little concerned about the size, but amazing, just wonderful. So let me know if you have made this blanket or you would want to make this blanket. As I mentioned, I will have everything linked below. Let me know. Oh, I did talk about wanting to crochet a basket with this blanket, with the yarn left over from the blanket. So if you have any good basket recommendations, let me know. I would love to hear it. I would love to see them. So thank you all so much. I was checking my YouTube analytics this morning and I am at 9,500 subscribers. Wow, thank you all so much. My goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers because next year I will be celebrating my 10-year anniversary of being on YouTube. So I would love to have 10,000 subscribers. So share with your friends, your family, all your yarny friends if you are subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, just consider it. I would love to have you here with me on the channel, I just really appreciate it. And also, I wanted to say a special thank you to those who have purchased patterns for me through Ravelry. I will leave my Ravelry wish list below. I have crochet patterns on there. I have knitting projects patterns on there. So yeah, definitely check that out. And just thank you all so much for your support in that regard. I really do appreciate it. So it's been wonderful sharing and vlogging this project, this 7-day project with you all. It's been a blast. Let me know what you worked on while watching, or did you just chill? I would love to know. My husband, he's off work today, and also my dog is right there, and they're both in the backyard doing something, and it's like distracting me because I can see them. But anyway, let me know what you did while watching, and thank you so much for clicking the like button and that notification bell. I really appreciate it. And yeah, check out the community tab. I ask a lot of fun questions there, and I love reading you all's responses. Also, if you would like to get bonus videos, definitely click that join button below. Each level has different perks. All right, y'all, thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And until next time, bye.